gonna keep on. You gonna keep trying to justify why you did some whole ass shit. You just gonna it's like, I thought, what the fuck? What you mean you thought? Damn. What you mean? What talking, man? This shit, I just keep. Are you straight? I'm just saying, you be chummy.
Yeah, get deep into it. Yes, sir.
Hell no, not while you on the test run.
Yes, sir.
Slide.
Greetings.
What happened?
Testing the audio to crispy. Yeah, that's 1080 right there. That's definitely 1080p. We're getting the podcast set up. You know, today is Martin Luther King's official birthday. We got the Conrads, we building. And you know, on the Martin Luther King, this day, I think this level I think of, I'm going into this whole Black History Month level of conspiracy and economics. Because, you know, there's a lot of information. You know, he got to break down the economics and how the Nation of Islam was rotating. That impressed Martin Luther King. And his second speech was about, you know, us coming together economically. But then he had got killed. Now, there's a little known fact about Martin Luther King. Did you know when Martin Luther King actually got shot that he didn't die?
No, he didn't.
Right. They smothered him with a pillow, the FBI.
The FBI did. Actually, the doctor that knew an FBI.
But they sued. Coretta Scott King sued
my
FBI and won. Because that's true.
Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of time when it comes to these leaders, it's like positions. You could be in a position because you're not. You know, it's harder to get in position when you're an economic threat. You know, so think of the people who trying to create the next level of boxers. You know, just say you know, willing to put your economics into it in order to create your children to be professional boxers. You know, doing this 18, you got 18 years to do it. You know, so, and then those same people willing to do by any means necessary. You know what I'm saying? They're, you know, the pastor or they're the mayor. You know, they taking the steps to actually put things together like that. And that's what Elijah Muhammad, you know, was on and pushing. So I think, you know, getting a person like King to see the economics, because this don't have anything to do with religion as far as, you know, you can, if you're a Christian and you about Black empowerment that empowers, Black empowerment is something that actually empowers a equal level. So, you know, Black power isn't against white power. White power already exists,
right?
You know, and it's at the strong level. So for Black power to be at that level where majority of Black people was working for Black businesses, you know what I'm saying? You know, or living in situations that's controlled by people of their peers, you know, in that manner. We not there. You know, most people, if you go to a school, you go into a predominantly, you know what I'm saying, white school, meaning white philosophy, theory that there's teaching. So if you're not teaching people of color to be genius.
It's American based.
Right.
It's more of what went on when they got to America instead of what went on in British, because it's a lot of Black colonials and Black civilization, and Black leaders and stuff in Britain. Because I love, it's something about Britain that I just actually love.
The UK.
To be a Black person and to be a Brit person, you know, you're a part of a British nation that understood somewhat culture of where Marcus Garvey and them would tamper with and go over to Britain and things of that nature.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, so, you know, it's a world market.
Yeah, definitely.
So when you're dealing with the world, you're dealing with people of color all over the world.
Definitely.
You know, so a person like Marcus Garvey, he was building a nation. So you can deal with the indigenous people anywhere. Meaning in Spain, in Europe, you got people of color everywhere. You know, Pan-Africans.
Definitely. It's like you say, going to school, you learn how to be a properly slave.
Right.
in so many matters. You learn how to be a Joe Louis.
To play your position.
Yeah.
And your position
how to
is
be
not
Joe
it's
Louis.
not a master position.
I'm glad we touched on that. It's Black History Month. We got Joe Louis, America's Forgotten Hero. This is what.
Okay. Joe Louis, America's Forgotten Hero.
Definitely. You know, Joe Louis came along after the Jack Johnson time in boxing. And Jack Johnson, he buffaloed his way into the arena to let them know that, yeah, you can't call something to be champion of something and don't let us in. So you ain't the best in the world when I'm doing this. I'm knocking out all of the black fighters. And I'm telling y'all that y'all white fighter is a bum. And I'm equal to the white man because I got a white wife. So I'm in the system. The system never could make a Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson made a system.
Right.
So now, see, the system is powerful because all Jack Johnson knew he had to do was run into one right person and he in the dope. Now he knew this as this type of a person back then. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So he hooked right up with a European promoter. Can he tame the big gorilla? Can he tame the monkey? Can he beat the big black chocolate thunder? Can he woo? Now it comes to a reality. So, like you say, the Forgotten Hero is when I'm gonna bump it up a little bit because Jack Johnson came to become the first black ever heavyweight champion of the world. Successfully won his title and beat the shit out of all the Caucasians and shit like that. Well, here comes Joe Louis. And get him in and make it. And teach him everything for economic growth. They taught him how to be a right slave, but not a right master.
Right.
So when they make this guy, he didn't have a reward in the end. Because when it was all said and done, he was a sideshow for the casinos and the palaces and the places that he opened up. So like you say, that economic growth is powerful. Like what kind of black person you is.
Right. Right.
And once Dr. King, once they found out that, they smothered it. You asked this bully, yeah, we're gonna get you gun.
Right.
You talking to them ugly niggas. They saying you with too many ugly niggas.
I think that's the look we're gonna go. Come and check it out.
Grading grapes.
Go ahead. Continue.
Okay, what we left off with?
You was talking about the economic as far as Jack Johnson.
Oh yes. And see Jack did it then. See, Jack had it going on then with it because he got into a system and he made it work for him. And now we ain't systematically growing with each other. It's the Jack Johnson theory that we all should live by. So I get it. It might have took Dr. King a minute to get it because he's with that turn the cheek other shit for a second. You know what I'm saying? I really wasn't with that, never. Because I would hear the stories that my granny and them would say. Because, my grandmama and Loretta,
grew up around the talkings of and the sayings of Martin and listening to Martin Jr., listening to some of his daughters talk and, how they would, motherfuckers would throw bricks and, what I'm saying, all that over them. So I get it.
I want to play this clip, and it's from talking about economics in the black community.
Okay.
See, this was the switch. This was after he had met Elijah Muhammad.
Now.
Right.
When he went to China.
Because the Nation of Islam has always had an economic plan for their people that's written down. It's a blueprint how to eat to live, mess of the black man, all of these
how to make
books.
a job.
Right. All of these books are, instructional, it's curriculum.
Yep.
That's why they started so many schools, home schools. And this is the curriculum that was taught. Right.
Definitely. The nation here been X-Nem and 7X them, they been had boxing schools in Chicago from when the nation started. I can go back and I can name several boxers. You know what I'm saying? We go with so many trainers, so many, from Napoleon them to Muhammad them to Chunky them. Was all that was nation type stuff. Far as it's all gonna get around to them messing with that in a certain kind of manners. You know what I'm saying? Who's that? Bruce Lee Chusley?
No, this is Buddha Chuda.
That's Buddha Chuda.
Master
Zen them,
yeah.
Buddha the Mo, Zoo them, Zoo Shai them, Master Zen.
Okay.
James Baldwin, my man, though. You up on James Baldwin?
Yeah.
He wrote Community Itself.
Harlem Renaissance.
Yes, that's my guy. I mess with Baldwin. The Community Itself is one of the coldest books ever, paperback book ever, bro.
I don't think I read.
Europe and other places. What do you have in store for us this summer?
And which talk show is this?
This looked like
Well, I don't know about the summer, huh?
Harry Belafonte.
Okay,
The Tonight Show.
Yeah,
1968.
Okay, Harry Belafonte.
I feel that we are in the midst of the most critical period in our nation, and the economic problem is probably the most serious problem confronting the Negro community. And I might say the most serious problem confronting poor people generally. And I don't want to be narrow about this, talking only about the black poor in our country, because I must be concerned about Puerto Ricans who are poor, Mexican Americans, American Indians, and Appalachian whites. And we are confronting a major depression in the poor community. And I think the time has come to bring to bear the power of the direct action, the nonviolent direct action movement on the basic economic conditions that we face all over the country. Nonviolence has been a tremendous force in grappling with the social problem of legal segregation and the syndrome of deprivation surrounding that system. And of course, it has been a major force in grappling with the political problem of the denial of the right to vote. But in winning victories like the Civil Rights Bill of '64 and the Voting Rights Bill of 1965 around the issue of segregation and voting rights, we discovered that these legislative strides did very little to improve the lot of the millions of Negroes in the ghettos of the North and in the nation generally, and urban communities all over.
That's not the one I'm looking for, though. The Other America, I think, is the speech.
professional website today.
Leader in award-winning direct-to-garment printers.
See, King had his own organization. He was on that nation building stuff. You know, he was just a Baptist preacher, but you know, the Baptist organization, that's an ecclesiastical organization to be on that building level. And most of these people were just national spokespersons.
Vietnam tomorrow, and I've been talking about it a great deal this week and weeks before that. I'd like to use as a subject from which to speak this afternoon the other America. And I use this subject because there are literally two Americas. One America is beautiful for a situation. And in a sense, this America is overflowing with the milk of prosperity and the honey of opportunity. This America is the habitat of millions of people who have food and material necessities for their bodies, culture and education for their minds, freedom and human dignity for their spirits. In this America, millions of people experience every, in a sense, the greatest tragedy of this other America is what it does
I'm
to
looking for
little
that.
children.
I don't think this is the one. I like this one too, so I would suggest anybody
Now, let
to
me say
check out
that
the other
the
America.
struggle for
But I
civil
don't want to play
rights,
too much of copyright reasons alone.
public transportation was segregated.
That's crazy. That look good. That's Chumley Funk.
Right.
Of course, like with McDonald's.
Shit. They supposed to give me a second.
Sweet